Alrighty, so today I wanted to go over a little bit of prep for Arthur because he comes out tonight on Global. I'm going to put this out at 12 o'clock, so noon for me, and he will come out 11 hours after this comes out. At least that's when the maintenance says that it's going to end. It's very possible that they do extend the maintenance because, you know, these festival patches and stuff end up having a decent amount of content and stuff, so kind of a toss-up on whether or not they're going to delay the patch a little bit, but as of right now, as it stands, they're going to be ending the maintenance at 8 p.m. PST. So if you need to Google that and translate that into your own time zone, by all means, just, it's easy. Just Google 8 p.m. PST and then convert that to your own time zone. So if you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be doing live summons tonight when the banner comes out, so feel free to come by and hang out. You can summon with me, or you can watch me summon. Who knows? I get terrible luck on festival banners, so we'll see if I get shafted or not. But either way, it'll be fine. But the new Arthur is very, very interesting. Obviously, I'm on Global, so he's not out just yet. But I wanted to go over, what materials you need to have for him, some of the team members you might need to build up if you don't already have them, and we're going to go over some of the gear that you maybe should be building for him. So, a lot of JP content creators have already been messing around with the characters, of course, and he looks like he's a pretty good character. A lot of people think he's mid, a lot of people think that he's good, so I'm definitely interested to get my hands on him. I think he's going to be really fun, at the very least. Even if he's not like the best character in the game, I think I'm going to enjoy using him. So, I do like the human team. Should be a fun time. But this new Arthur is a UR character. He is a green UR character, which means that you're going to have to use a ton of UR pendants. I have a segment of Amazing's live stream pulled up where he summoned on his JP account, which is his free-to-play account, if I'm not mistaken. And you can see down here at the bottom, it might be a little rough to read because the text is so small, but you need 10 UR pendants to get him from 60 to 100. You need 8 of the 6-star green books, 145 of the OG Demon Flames, 185 of the Belmoth cores, 110 Howlix ears, 110 Gray Demon wings, and then 80 of the Red Demon horns. So that is going to be how many materials you need. So just make sure that you either farm your demons out if you need to before the game goes down for maintenance. If you don't have the SSR pendants, that's completely understandable. They are giving out, I think it's 3 free UR pendants in the special missions that are going to be coming out with the patch. So if you can do the special missions, you'll get 1 free multi for the banner itself, and if you complete all 5 of the missions, you get 3 UR pendants. So that should help you at least get somewhat towards maxing them out. But obviously UR pendants they're expensive, so you might not have them right offhand, but you can save them up, do whatever you need to do. Some of the characters that you might want to have for the Arthur, he is a human-based unit. So there has been a lot of testing going on the JP version where people are, using a whole bunch of different stuff. I do think that Bon is kind of best in slot for him because you kind of want to increase his max HP. If we pull up his passive right here, you can see that in Chaos's Domination, which is the passive part that he gets where it has the taunt, and you get it once you have 4 stacks of Call of Chaos, which you get for each ultimate move gauge that you gain. Whenever he's on the field, and it has to be human allies, so you basically need to run him with humans. But in Chaos's Domination, you can see right here at the bottom, when using a skill, deal extra damage by 25% of the unit's max HP. So HP is going to be kind of a big theme with this character. I guess you could potentially try to use like Purgatory Bond and stuff. I think I seen Sora, if I'm not mistaken, use Purgatory Bond. Purgatory Bond's pretty old. He was the 2-year anniversary character, so I don't necessarily think he's going to be the greatest. But he had some fun matches in there. Definitely go check that video out if you haven't already. But the reason why Bon is kind of nice is because it increases HP-related stats of applicable allies by 5% for each one on the battlefield, which is his Extortion Zone. Yeah, so at the start of the battle, applies Extortion Zone on the hero, and then for each one on the battlefield. So it only applies to 7 Deadly Sins, Fairies, and Humans. So for each human ally that you have on the team, which should be 3, you'll get 15% HP-related stats. So that's nice, because you obviously want to have higher max HP with Arthur. So Bon is kind of a given. I think that I think he's going to end up being kind of a staple on the team. I'm not a huge fan of that, because Meliodas loves debuffs, and Bon, every time you attack with a human, he's going to apply a debuff to the entire team. So that's easy orbs for Melly to gain, which I guess that's probably why they wanted to do it like that. there's a little bit of counterplay there with the new Melee. They didn't want to outright make this Arthur way better than Melee or anything like that, which I don't know that you would consider this Arthur to be better than Melee in the first place, but there are a couple of other interesting characters. I think Jillian, actually, down here could be kind of interesting, because you might be running LR Escanor with the character. If you don't know, Jillian is an SR character that increases HP attribute allies HP by 30%, so she is a green human. So not only is she full human, but that'll work with LR Escanor's passive, because you have to have a complete human team. But him and Arthur are both green, so they'll gain more HP, make them hard to kill. Could be actually pretty interesting. I've seen a couple of people use her already. Obviously, we can't run any Arthurs. Green Escanor is kind of a staple if you don't have like a great human backliner, which is very likely, because I think best in slot is going to end up being Red Christmas Roxy. But a lot of people skip this Roxy, so if you don't have her, you could potentially use like Green Halloween Easton, because that'll help you with a little bit of ult gauge control. You might be able to use Jenna if you have like a really high CC, but she's really old and her CC is really bad, so I don't really recommend that. And the big deal with the character is you want to gain ultimate move gauge and get 4 stacks on his passive so you can get Chaos's domination as quickly as possible, so you kind of just want to go first. So playing with characters that have good CC is unfortunately going to be, I think, a really big part of it. I definitely want to test a couple of teams going second with him and see if you can, have some decent matches. I'm sure, it's not going to be a complete, stomp, but you definitely want to try to go first, so having higher CC characters is better. And Roxy, I think, is going to be best in slot because she got a Holy Relic recently. She's just a good backliner, etc. So LR Escanor is pretty good. I do want to try Ultimate Escanor as well, because he's on the banner for Arthur, which I think is interesting, but this character's a bit old. He doesn't have a Holy Relic yet or anything, so he could be kind of interesting. I'm going to test that out for myself to see. You might be able to run like Levi or something. I do also want to try Aaron. I don't think that these are going to be like great characters that a lot of people are going to be running, but I think it could be kind of interesting. And then other than that, I think I've seen Marilli use, I think he used Rudius, or maybe that was Devo. And then I know that Marilli used Naofumi as well, which I thought was kind of cool. But you're basically just going to be looking for any sort of decent human character to sort of throw on the team, so that way, Arthur can, continue to get his stacks and stuff when you, because the basic turn 1 play is to merge whatever like extra card you get and then use 2 cards, so that way he gets Chaos Domination on turn 2. So, those are a couple of characters that you can kind of work on. Obviously, some of these characters are on the banner, namely Bon. I think Blue Roxy is also on the banner. I have seen a couple of people try the Blue Roxy out. I don't think that she's that great. Arthur does have a single target card that has 2 times crit chance on it, which is pretty good, but I don't know. You might be able to get some decent matches, but I don't really think that she's going to be like the best case scenario or anything. As far as gear goes, the gear for the character is a little bit more interesting than I originally thought it was going to be. I originally was going to make an attack crit damage set, which was, I think, this one right here that I was going to put on him. It's just an attack crit damage set that I've had in my gear stash, and I thought that he was going to be a very attack-based unit, but because we went over it earlier, because of Chaos Domination giving you extra damage dealt due to his maximum HP, it really ends up becoming like this this weird like back and forth where attack crit damage sets, yes, do more damage, or like not damage, but like they give you more attack, which equals more damage. But as long as you can get your Chaos Domination, which is kind of the goal to begin with, if you put an HP defense set on him, it almost ends up being around the same amount of damage that the attack crit damage set would give you. So I do think that HP defense is going to be best in slot. I seen Devo put out a video where he was checking out different gear slots and stuff like that for the character. He was saying that it could be kind of interesting to make an HP crit defense set, because Arthur's really tanky. If you make him even harder to kill, then you might not be able to get to his teammates or whatever, depending on like AoEs and everything. But if you don't know, his AoE card right here is a flood card that also lowers AoE damage, which is kind of nice. And because you're putting so many debuffs on with Bon and everything, more than likely they're not going to cleanse this off unless it's Melee's like big cleanse that he gets when he gets all creation. Another thing to note is that this AoE is a flood card. So going first is going to be kind of nice in the sense that flood cards typically drop off as the match goes on, because they do more damage per HP percent that you have. And obviously as the match goes on, you're taking damage. you're going to end up having lower HP, and then this card is not going to deal as much. So I think that you might be able to go with like an HP crit damage set if you really want to try to push damage, but personally, I don't like the CC cut that running a crit damage set really entails. So I think that he's reaching like 77k, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's with 6/6, of course. I think I've seen Davo and a couple of other creators hit like 77, 76-ish K with an HP defense set, which is really high CC. He can still reach over 70k on an attack crit damage set, which is very good, because, I mean, Transcendent Bond and some of the other like modern characters like LR Escanor and stuff on HP defense sets can reach over 70k, but the fact that he's doing it with an attack crit damage set is pretty insane. So, personally, I would make an HP defense set. I don't think you're going to have to do any sort of like weird rolls, so you can just go with basic substat rolls with attack, defense, and crit HP. So that way, you know, you basically just want to go for as much max HP as possible. The attack pieces are going to have attack on them, so that way you can deal more damage. I don't think you have to really worry about the crit damage or anything like that with rolls, because you just want to go for as much CC as possible, and the base stats are going to give you that. His flash card, his single target attack, is crit. 2 times crit chance and 2 times damage dealt to debuffed enemies, which is pretty good. I have seen him miss crits with this, though, so I'm not sure if I want to run a crit damage set and then have him miss the crit, and then it becomes even more disappointing, and I took a CC cut because I put crit damage on him. So I think I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to put an HP defense set on him because I think that's just going to be all like well-rounded best in slot for him. But he does seem like he's going to be a really fun character. So let me know if you're planning on doing anything interesting. I think you could get away with an attack crit damage set if you really wanted to, but I don't think it's super necessary. I do have a couple of gear sets for Arthur already, and I do have an attack crit damage set, but this was designed for this blue Arthur, so it has half crit chance rolls, so not ideal. I might have to re-roll that in the future, but yeah, even though this will be my 3rd HP defense set for him, I would like to give him his own set, because he's a festival character. He's kind of important for the team. I think he deserves it. So, obviously, you might not be in that sort of position where you can give every character an extra set or anything, but I think HP defense is best if you're just going to go all well-rounded. I think that you probably might already have an HP defense set. If you've used the human team at all, basically, and you go for this green Excalibur Arthur, you probably, I mean, if you've used any of the Excalibur Arthurs for that matter, you probably already have an HP defense set, so you could just throw that on him. If you get anvils or anything like that, hammers, just work on your HP defense set. I think it'll be fine. You can see mine aren't perfect. They're 14+%, but I could definitely do better. So I'll probably try to pour some extra anvils and stuff into the set. But either way, that's pretty much it for me. If you have any sort of interesting things that you're going to be building team-wise for him, or if there's any sort of interesting gear sets that you want to do that aren't necessarily the norm, let me know, because I'd be interested to see what you guys come up with. But either way, that is pretty much it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. I will see you guys tonight for some live summons. And yeah, hope it goes well. Good luck.